Hello, good morning, good evening, and to everyone from all over the world. And this is Spring. Welcome to the episode 25 of Geeetech 3D Maker Salon. And today we are going to have a special speaker. Our speaker will join later, and I'd like to introduce a little bit about 3D Maker Salon. And if you are joining me here now, I'd like to invite you guys to share this live streaming with your friends and your groups. So if you are joining us here, you can say hi in the comments. Hello, Norm. Today, our speaker might be some delay to join us. I'm still waiting for the response. I'd like to introduce a little bit about 3D Maker Salon here. In this 3D Maker Salon, we have been online for 2020. This is the 25th live streaming, and we are gonna in each episode we have a different topic and the speaker to share about their 3D printing expertise and also their 3D printing experience. In this episode, we are going to have John with us to share his experience about multi-color printing, in how to do the purging in multicolor printers. Hello, Maria, and hello SPC 3D. Yeah, if you are joining me here, welcome you to like our Geeetech page. And also in our Geeetech page, right now we have an activity. It's about the Halloween theme activities. If you have printed something interesting and you would like to share, you can share in our page. Hello, Sal. And this time in this activity, we're going to select 2 lucky guys to win our gift. Hello everyone, welcome to join 3D Maker Salon. And how are you guys doing today? It's quite early morning here in Shenzhen, and we're gonna to wait a little bit for our speaker to join. During this time, I will also introduce a little bit about what we are having in our Geeetech side, about the special promotion that we are having in here. Hello, Rochelle from Carolina, California. Hello, Mariel. Well, in UK it's 2 a.m. You are still awake. I think in European countries right now it's quite early morning, and some I got some comments suggesting that we have some live streaming in European nighttime. I'm also, yes, I'm also trying to invite some speakers from European, because the time is normally based on the speaker's time. So if you guys are interested to join 3D Maker Salon, you can also contact me to share your experience. Oh, just got up. Yeah, in Asia countries right now is morning time. In Brazil, hello, Sal. Let me try to. Yeah, as you guys maybe already know that in Geeetech we have single extruder printer and dual extruder printer, and also 3 extruder printer. So originally we are planning to talk about the purging, how to set the purging in the printer. So hello, Roshna. Which place in USA are you from? Hello. Oh, California. Okay, so hello. Okay, I'm gonna to before the getting more while waiting for our speaker to join, I'd like to share the promotion that we are having. Since the Halloween is coming, and I noticed that a lot of friends in your countries are printing and preparing for this Halloween, and we have some special deals in our website in Amazon for US, and also UK and Spain, Germany, Italy. So I'm going to share what we are having in our Amazon store for promotion, just to let you guys know. And if you are preparing to print something, and I think you can consider if you are interested in these deals. Okay, I will start from in US. Start from the filament. Sal, hello. In Brazil, I'm not quite sure. I think you can still. I will check it with our team. Currently, we in some of countries, I think you can still buy from our website. In our website, you can buy it, and also you can check in eBay. Maybe in Amazon we don't have it right now. Okay, so for the US deals, for filament, we currently have a special offer for the white color, black color, and also glowing dark. So for these are like very common colors we use for printing, and especially in the Halloween, I think it might be interesting for you. You can check it out. Currently, this is the biggest promotion, is 30% off on Amazon. You can use the code here. And one thing I'm not sure about you guys, when you print some for this Halloween, what do you prepare to print for this event? Like how long do you prepare for the Halloween normally? In China here, for Halloween, we we normally not celebrate very much, but in big cities like Shanghai or Shenzhen, and also Beijing, those big cities, some of people who are like maybe communicate or work with international atmosphere. Sometimes they have special event, and also in some, I think in some bars, they have some special event, special activities for the Halloween as well. Oh, just started printing this week, so it's a good timing. So if you guys need, any of you in US are considering to do printing, do some preparations for the Halloween, we have this special offer for filament. It's 30% off. Yes, so if you are interested, you can check it out. Great, great, Norm. Enjoy your first row of blue glow in the dark. Have fun. Okay, let's continue with more promotion that we are having in US. I will come back to other countries as well. So as mentioned, we have several colors. So I will share multicolor. Like firstly, I will start from the dual color. We currently have the special promotion for A20M. Okay, So for A20M is that we have 15% off plus $30 coupon. Okay, I will share here. Yes. So you can see the price is currently $309 around. And I have the link here. So this printer is like dual color printer, and also it's a medium size. I can show you. Let me share the screen with you guys. Okay, so this is the printer, A20M. It's two color printer. So the price in Amazon US currently the promotion is $309 around. Okay, let me see what else we got. And for this printer, if you are, let me see. Okay, we have 3-color printer that is having special promotion as well, since today is for multicolor printer sharing. So for this 3-color printer is A20T that we are having promotion. The price is $369 let me open the page for you. Okay, so this is the, can you see maybe? Okay, I'll give us full screen for this. So this is the A20T, 3-color in and 1 out mixed color. The promotion, the price is originally in the website it's $405. Here we are having the promotion is the 80, like we have $80 discount price. The price is $369. Okay. And what's more, for which, so we have for other countries in Europe some promotion. I'll start from UK for filament PLA. For PLA, we have a big deal is the price vary from 15 to 8 to like 18 euros. Vary from this range. Let me Okay, so for the orange color, so this is the Amazon deal in UK for the PLA filament. We have the orange and also have green and other colors as well. And so for this, especially for orange and green and the marble color, we have the promotion here. Some of like these are like one-day deal. So if you have needs, you can buy it on the 24th, 1-day deal. Yeah, this is for the filament. Okay, so this is for UK. I will copy paste this for other countries in Europe. Yeah, these are all Halloween colors for Halloween colors, because this is the promotion for the Halloween to get, for you guys to get ready for the Halloween. I think you can try it if you have need. Our friend John is joining now. I will share the other links here, and we can share it later. For the printers, in UK we have a Prusa I3 Pro B printer, and also a 10M that is having special promotion right now. Okay, here's a link for the printers in UK for the Amazon store. Okay, so the price for Pro B, i3 Pro B is 15% off plus 30% coupon. So final price is very cheap. Right now is 113.6. Oh, not 6, maybe around 7. So 6.5 for this i3 Pro B printer. So this is probably for right now the deal for today. And for the also a 10M, we have the special price is 239. Oh, okay. So I also copied the Amazon deal in France here for the filament. It's for silver filament. The price is 17 euros instead of 25 euros for today as well. We're trying to fix the problem. I think trying to fix this shipment problem. And let me see what else. Okay, in France we have shared the filament deal, and I will share. We have one more filament deal in France. Is the gray color. For the gray PLA, the price is 17 euros. So this is for the day for tomorrow, 24th of October, and Gray color, I think, is also very common used filament, commonly used. And now I'm going to share some only one special promotion in France for printer is the i3 Pro B printer. Promotion is 143.65 euros. This is the promotion in France for Amazon store. And for the now we're going to share some more for other countries. So where are you guys from? You can share your in which country are you from to the link here to the comments, and so I will share the promotion in your country, so to see if you have any needs for it. Okay, I'm going to start now. Continue with the promotion in Spain. In the Amazon deal for the filament in Spain, Espanol. We have two filaments that is in promotion. One is black and another one is bronze color. Okay, here I'm gonna share. You can see the link here is the Geeetech bronze filament. So the price is 23 euros. 23 euros. And for black, this is the promotion for today. And for the Nuevo Negro filamento, which is the new black filament, the price is 22 euros around. So if you are looking for filament in Spain, you can check it out. And for the we have one promotion in for printer in Spain as well. It's also the this one is the A10, the single color printer. So for the A10, we have the price. This is the single color printer. The price is 203 euros around. 203 euros around. Let me check. And for deals in Germany, I will share directly the deals in Germany and also in Italy, and we will quickly go through it and invite our special guest, John, to join us on live. Can't wait to invite him to be in live. Okay, I share directly here, all of them. So here are the Amazon deals in Germany. Currently, we are having filament, white, silk, black, and also the printers. I'll share it together here, just to quickly go through it. And also for Italy, in Italy and also Germany, right now we have promotions for this. Okay, for both filament and printers, you can check it out. So those are the special promotions we have in Italy. Is silk color, PLA, glow in the dark, and also white color, light color. And also for the printers, we have A10 Pro and an i3 Pro B printers and A20 printer. So if you wanted to buy any printer, you can see if these are good offer for you. Just check it out. And okay, so for in general, currently for the countries in Germany, Italy, France, and UK, we have a special discount for those. Is for Prusa for Prusa i3 Pro B is like 15% off in general, and for Pro W is 5% off in general. 10% A10 for A10 printer we have 20% off, and also PLA. So for PLA we have 15% off. That's the special promotion in general in countries in Europe. Okay, that's basically all of the promotion that we are having on. You can check it out. So I'm going to invite our speakers to be on live with us. Are you guys ready? Like the silk filament. Great. No, are you ready? Yeah, I'm going to invite Norm to be in with us. Hello, Norm.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm fine. Sorry I was late. I got the time zones mixed up.
Great. Very happy to have you with us today to share about.
Thank you. I'm happy to try and help any way I can with this. I know it can be annoying with the multicolor prints sometimes, so I'm happy to help.
Yeah. Okay. Just probably most of our audiences, some of them maybe don't know you much well. Just a little bit background about John is that John is a very active and helpful member in our multicolor printer group, and he often helps members in solving some printing problems. And also he himself has a lot of experience in printing multicolor, not just the multicolor only, but also single color, of course. So that's why we are inviting him to share with us about this topic, about how to do purging properly for multicolor extruder printers. Yeah, we have many friends saying hi to John.
Hello. Okay, so
oh, wait a moment, let me remove
it. I'm sorry, my screen is very small.
Yeah, your screen is a little bit small.
So yeah, is it better to go sideways?
Can you introduce a little bit about yourself and what you have done in multicolor? Yeah, I'll give you a full screen to.
Yeah, I think I started with Geeetech printers around 3 years ago now. I think probably right about then. I had an Ender for a little while before that, and then I wanted to try the multicolor stuff. So I saw the Geeetech A10M at the time was what I got. It was pretty new, so the community didn't really. No one really done mixing before that, so the community was kind of new. So yeah, I just started messing around with it. Thank you for your nice words there. For helping people. I do that as much as I can, just because I know. I mean, it's all a game. I'm not a game. A test. That you got to keep trying things in order to make it work. So I don't mind helping, because what works for one person doesn't always work for another anyway. So yeah, that's pretty much my background. So I had an A10M, 2 of those. I had an A20M, an A30T, an A10T, and then I took that A10T, and actually before I got the real A30, I put the A10T stuff, everything orders, into an A10 or an A30 frame. So I kind of had my own A30T. It ran Marlin though, so it was a little different. But so before I got the real A30T, I kind of tried to make it A10T and 30T. It worked pretty good. Just change the firmware and stuff. But so that's my background. And then I've had like a couple, like an A10, but mostly I've done multicolor with the Geeetech printers. And I have some other printers from other brands. I do some resin stuff, but yeah, again, that's why I like multicolor. It's just it's challenging, and I think that's what I like about it. It's a little frustrating. Something like this is a lot easier to do than.
I'll give you a full screen.
Yeah, this one I just used. There's a website online that'll let you modify the G code, and there's no purging on this. It just does each layer and purges as it changes colors. So those are generally pretty easy to print. But where it gets a little more challenging is if you have more than one color sometimes. So I think that's what you guys wanted to talk about today. Should I just go on, or is there more that you wanted to say? All right, I'll just keep going. So here's an example of what can happen. I don't have the finished one. I actually haven't gotten around to reprint it. It's a longer print. It uses a lot of filament because the way Cura happens to merge these two, it does a full solid layer every time. Anyway, it's not the point. The point is this is like a robot trapped in ice STL, so the robot body kind of comes up like this. If you look close, you can see I had a shift. It went over probably a good 2 or 3 layers this way. I don't know if you can see it right there. And the purge tower, you can also see it right there at the top. And I kind of did this one on purpose in a sense. I wanted to see what would happen with the default Cura profile for purging. And as you can see, the outside is all stringy and not very nice. And it's a purge tower, so it doesn't matter. But if you look really close, you can see that it actually is over extruding a lot. And that's from actually the retraction is set really far. So by the time it comes back in on the purge, it oftentimes gets gunked up and caught, and then a big blob will come out, and then that's what that stuff on the outer edges. It gets shoved to the outside, and then what happens is when the hot end moves back to go through a print or this way back to the purge, whichever way it happens on, it'll hit that little excess bump, and then that's where that layer shift occurs. It might happen on the model part or on the tower, but somewhere because of that default curve profile, I think it's a -16, so it backs it out to 16 from the hot end, takes that filament out of the hot zone, and then you sometimes get a weird blob.
Glenn is giving a suggestion that show something, hold it for a second, so the picture can capture you clearly. So you can hold what you are showing for a little bit longer. So yeah, everybody can see it clearly.
You see that shift right there? It's kind of hard to tell, but a couple layers. Each right here at the top. It almost looks like a pipe.
Yeah.
Of course, that should just be straight up and down. Is that better? Can you see now?
Yeah, that's better.
So yeah, as you can see, that obviously messes up the print as the whole bed. This was on the y-axis, so as the whole bed shifts, then it just prints everything, of course, that 2 or 3 layers off. So how do you stop it? The first thing is to check, like I said, your Cura profile or your whatever slicer. I just use Cura because it's free, and I haven't paid for S3D lately, or ever. So someone gave me a free copy of S3D for a while, but they needed it back, so I gave it back to them, of course. But anyway, the slicer. The default Cura one is, and that's what a lot of people are going to use because it's free. Like I said, has that big, I think it's a 16 retraction on layer change or on color change. And again, that leaves that big blob that eventually gets hooked on. So that's the first step is Cura. Put that more like 6 to 7, the same as you do on your regular retraction. And it should be much better. Instead of 16, go down to like 7. And I gotta say, thank you to Bruce Greenleaf. He actually kind of discovered all this. He shared it with me. Yeah, his profile was online. He really helped. So, I don't want to take credit fully for that. Bruce helped a ton.
Oh, I will share our multicolor printer group in our comment.
Okay, yeah, perfect. The A10TM group. Yeah. That's the exact
one.
There's some profiles for all the different ones for quite a few different slicers. So here's another example. This one's a lot more profound. As you can see, it's just kind of like a stair step. I don't know, is that? It's hard with this camera. The screen is tiny, what I'm seeing. So hopefully that does it. And then again, purge tower, same thing, like steps.
Yeah.
So how do you stop that? Well, again, I started. You do your Cura profile or your slicer profile. Make sure your color change. Now, if you have a purge wall, that's a whole other thing. Some people have what's called a purge wall, which is along your left Y axis, you have a little wall where the printhead actually comes over and squirts your purge over there. And as it comes back, it usually will hit some kind of cleaning, swiping thing. And that uses a lot less filament because you only need to purge on the layers that you need to change. Whereas normally you have to purge on every layer because you're going to need that purge tower to be at the right height when you do need to purge. You can't just skip it and then all of a sudden purge in the air. So it needs some kind of base to actually purge onto. So that's a whole other thing. If you have a prime purge wall, you kind of have a whole lot of different settings there. But for your basic, just a purge tower, in something like Cura or Simplify, you're going to want to look at that retraction setting and set it to the same that you have for all your retractions.
The retractions and the other settings are the same?
I'm sorry?
The retraction and other settings are the same?
Yeah, you do the same retraction setting for the filament change that you do for your regular print. So if it's 7, on the A30, I usually use 7 because the Bowden tubes are so long. But on the A10, it's a lot smaller, so you might get away with 5.5 on your purge length. But whatever you use for your normal retraction, you want to use that same setting on the color change retraction setting. And it's a hard setting to find sometimes in Cura. So make sure you're not. Cura has a lot of hidden settings. You got to make sure you're in expert mode to get everything. So you might want to make sure you're doing that. So and it is possible. I just did 4 standalone cubes this time, various colors, some mixed, some not. And as you can see, I don't know, I'll just do one at a time. These came out fine, despite being printed all at the same time. I didn't print them actually touching. There really isn't a reason or difference.
I'll give you a full screen.
Yeah, see, these worked fine. And then this is like a little bit of red with black mixed in. I was kind of testing some mixed stuff. But as you can see, they're perfectly straight, even though I printed
a little bit longer.
I printed them all at the same time. And they're perfect. They didn't do the stair step. So again, back to order. So Cura profiles, number 1. Number 2, you want to check your acceleration. Now, on my A30T, the acceleration was already set very low to where you want to go. That's not always going to be the case, though. So you want to check your acceleration. And you want to be under 1,000 typically on acceleration.
John, we are having a few questions. You wanted to answer some questions from the comments, or you wanted to share?
I don't see the questions though, so I don't know where to see them at.
I'll show you here.
Oh, I see them.
One friend is asking, what's your favorite slicer for Geeetech printers?
Who's my favorite printer?
Slicer for
Geeetech printers. I use Cura. I have no problem with any of the other ones. Prusa slicer is good. The only reason I haven't used Prusa with my A30T is I'm having some weird kind of, I don't know what it is. I think it's something to do with the relative E. It seems like it doesn't like using relative E, and Prusa requires a relative extruder. So instead of going from like an absolute number, you go from the previous length, basically. I think that there's something weird either with my printer profile, or I just can't get my Prusa to work on my A30T. It works on my A10T, works on my A20T, my 10M, my 20M. But I can't get it to work on the 30T. And the 30T does have that different motherboard. So I don't know if that's why, but I just haven't had a chance to fix it. I would use Prusa if I could get it to work on this 30T constantly, and I'm working on that. But for now, Cura. Another reason I like to use Cura is a lot of people do. So if I find something that works good, it can typically help more people. I don't know. I like to use Prusa and Cura.
Yeah, thank you very much for sharing. I'm just hello guys. Can you hear me and also John clearly? Can you let us know if you can hear us both clearly? Okay, John, we have another question for you. Do you use Prusa slicer with the purge bucket? Or others?
I have on my A10 and A20M. I definitely use the purge bucket on those. And I haven't gotten around. What I just said previously about Prusa is exactly why I don't have a purge wall yet. Because Prusa's, I think, a lot easier to set a purge wall up. But yes, I have used the purge wall, and I actually prefer that. There's a really cool one out there that actually kind of like launches the filament. It's got like a spring. So when the hot end is going back to make a print, it hits the thing, and the thing like springs the filament off, and it's really cool because it gets it super clean. Because no matter what with the purge wall, it just seemed like every 200th or whatever layer, I'd get a little bit of stuff dragging back. It just didn't quite clean it off, and that would solve that problem. Or sometimes the filament would build up at the bottom of the purge wall, and if you don't have a good way of getting rid of it, it can actually get so high that your new purge is starting to hit it. So yeah, purge walls are definitely cool. You want to do more questions? I can see them now.
That's all the questions. If you guys have other questions to ask Norm here, you can type in the comments here regarding how to do purge properly.
So let me go back to what I was saying before. So you have your slicer, that's one place. Then you have, like I said, your machine settings. You want to keep that acceleration. This is a pretty large bed. So you want to keep the acceleration and jerk as low as you can go. Now that's going to slow your prints down a little bit, but you gotta. It's such a large bed; it's moving a lot of mass. So stopping quickly and then turning is going to be harder. And then the higher up you go, you get a little bit of the wobble and stuff. And then so yeah, acceleration and jerk is the second thing. And then of course your basics. I mean, you got to have your E steps, and that's going to depend. For the Geeetech multicolors, your E steps are going to depend on what kind of extruder you have. If you have the newer extruder, which it's a little bit hard to tell because they look almost exactly alike, but the newer extruders, the gears, they don't have concave areas on them, and the old ones, the extruder gear actually is concave a little bit. So that concaveness actually adds a few steps because it's obviously smaller in the middle than one that goes straight down. So on the older A10Ms and A20Ms, you're going to look at around 430, 420, somewhere in that area on E-steps. On the newer ones with the straight gear, then you're going to look at around 390. But you kind of want to make sure, what you want to do is just run filament through without through the hot end, just straight through the extruder, measure out 100, and then go from there. Unfortunately, you know, with 3 extruders, the firmwares aren't, 3 extruders is kind of a new thing, so the firmwares aren't very intelligent about, you can only set one E setting for all 3 extruders is what I'm trying to get at. So if your extruders are slightly off, you maybe have a smaller gear on one or the other, you want to try and find like a middle ground. So if one's like, say, I've got the newer one, so if one's say 391, one's 392, and one's 393, I'll go at 391, and then if I need to, I'll adjust the flow on the other 2. But, you know, within 1%, you're probably not going to have too much problems. Again, it's going to depend on the filament and everything, but for the most part. So, yeah, so those are the basic things that you're going to need, because everybody needs to do E-steps. But if you're putting out too much filament, it's bound to get hit and caught up later on as it's moving around. You know, that extra filament has to go somewhere, so it'll start, you know. Another thing is, and this isn't particularly easy to fix all the time, is if something has a big overhang. This isn't a perfect example, but, you know.
Let's give a full screen.
That when it's printing, that little tip tends to curl up. If you don't have super good coolant, it'll just the very end of it will go up. And then sometimes it'll get snagged, and that can cause a layer shift too. So layer shifts are kind of elusive. There's lots of things that can cause them. I mean, I guess that's kind of the nature of 3D printing, right? It seems like everything has so many variables these days. So yeah, those are the 3 or 4, I don't know how many things that I would check in that order pretty much. Make sure my slicer's proper, because that's probably the easiest thing, right? I'm just looking at a screen. Then I'd make sure my machine settings are proper. Then I'd make sure that my E-steps, because those I should have already done. That's why I wouldn't do E-steps first. I guess you could probably do those first. But my E-steps are usually good. So that's going to be something I later would check. Or I missed the flow. So E-steps and flow kind of go together, right? Depends on your filament. Some filament's going to need a little bit stronger flow. Yeah, that's what I usually check with. You know what? There's one other thing that's a little more. I mean, most of the time you're not going to have to do this, but let me open these up. Inside the printer, there are what are called stepper drivers, and that's what kind of controls your motor. So this is so this little tiny screw on here. What you need to do is. And please check something online. Don't go just by my instructions here. This is not at all thorough. What you want to do is you can test by going from the positive on the chip to the negative. And what you do is you turn that little screw, and it will actually increase or decrease the amount of power going to your steppers. So your steppers might not be getting enough power, so when they get to the part that's hard, they lose a step. That could also be another way of doing shifting. So what you want to do is it's again somewhat complicated. You want to look at your motor power, and there's formulas online. I'm not going to go over them here, but there's formulas online to let you know what the proper sort of range to be in, and then you basically, like everything else, you go in that range, you find what works for you. I usually try to stay at the low end. I go as low as it let me without having skips. I think that's the best bet. Otherwise, you're putting extra power into your motors that you probably don't need. So yeah, sorry, I almost missed that because that one's a little more rare. It's actually not, I don't know. It's not something most people are probably going to do. But yeah, that's something that's, each extruder is going to have that, and each stepper motor, X, Y, and Z. What you're looking for is whatever one is skipping on. In my case, the ones I showed you were Y. So I would go in there and check the power rating on the actual Y stepper driver, which is, it's all labeled inside the board. But again, I would really strongly recommend you get some kind of YouTube video or something else that specifically addresses that. But yeah, I mean, this one came off an A20M, so It's like pretty much, yes, there's no snags or anything in it. It's a little bit older. I printed it quite a while ago. But I want to say it was like, I think 0.2, probably 0.24 maybe. I usually don't print much, especially for something like this. I wouldn't print. But yeah, are there any other questions? Should we check out that screen and see?
Yeah.
I can look at them from here, sort of. Just probably looks a little weird to you guys.
Someone
Here's
asking, have you printed the multicolored gecko?
Yeah, the one on the test print. Yeah, that was the first one. I don't have it handy, but I definitely have. I could like post a picture to the chat after we're done. After I'm done broadcasting, to show you it. But yeah, I have. It's definitely sliced to run a little slower than my normal prints, but I've used that one. I've printed that one. I've also resliced it. I haven't just used the one off the SD card that comes with it. I've resliced it.
One friend wanted to get your profile for Prusa slicer with the purge bucket.
That one, I again will have to say that I don't have it. Like I'll have to get you the link. I'm sorry, I don't have it handy. I use one offline actually. I think some of the guys who might have made it might be watching soon. Actually, I'll take one of the ones off of the Thingiverse or one of the other sites. I'll get you the one I use. I can put it in this comments of this text.
Okay, you can share it later.
Yeah, I'll share the link in the chat later on once I'm offline or once I'm off the broadcast.
Okay. Here are more questions.
Because yeah, I actually don't usually make my profiles. I take one off of, like I said, where they are and maybe adjust it a little bit. But for the most part, I've been lucky and gotten them from most other people. And I just modified them.
Okay. Do you upgrade your T modules? Because a lot of people talk about upgrading parts.
Yeah, a lot of people don't like these extruders. I think that's what you're talking about, the extruders. Maybe there's a lot of parts you can upgrade, but extruders, I think, are one of the ones that are talked about a lot. I actually really like these. These are, I believe, Titan clones. I'm sorry, not arrows. The arrows behind. These are Titan clones, and I actually don't have a lot of problems. I know a lot of people have some issues with loading them, but I've had them so long now, I seem to know exactly what angle to cut them at and and I get them right in. However, if you were looking to upgrade, I would look at the BMG and their clones. I've had a lot of luck with clones. I know that a lot of people might not like you to use clones, but I've had a lot of luck. As long as you get some good ones, there's definitely some junky ones out there. But yeah, the BMG dual drive, that's probably what I would go with. Now, it depends on the BMG you get. You may need to like switch your motor direction. And you should always do your E-steps again. I think those are around 420 typically, so not too different from the older Geeetechs. But if you pop a BMG on a newer Geeetech, your E-steps are definitely going to be pretty low probably. So that's one thing if you do the. And then there's what I showed you earlier, which are the stepper drivers. Remember these guys, where you can adjust. There's actually different models of these, and I actually prefer like if I were going right now, I'd go 2209 on the X, the Y, and the Z, and then I would do what are LV8729s on the extruders. So basically, what the different stepper drivers do, I'm going to be really simplistic here. They have different characteristics in terms of torque and power ratio. There's a lot more to it than that, but for simplicity's sake, they're just upgraded parts that allow you to basically get more out of your machine. So yeah, and they're fairly cheap. I mean, the steppers like these guys, they range in price from like $3 or $4 up to like maybe 10 at the most. These are the kind of the basic drivers that everyone's going to use. But yeah, like I said, they're pretty cheap, so it's easy to go ahead and upgrade those and see if you get any kind of advantage for that. So those are the two biggest things I would probably upgrade. Now, if you want to be like safety's sake, it's a great idea to put a MOSFET, a separate MOSFET on your hot end. I believe the A30T already has it. I'm 99% sure it does. I haven't opened it yet, but all the other A30s did, and even my A20M did. So I'm pretty sure that, but a separate MOSFET, that allows you to take some strain off the main board. You're going to be running a lot of electricity through such a big bed. So by having that separate MOSFET, it's a little better, you know, get a little more heat dissipation. They have their own fans on them, so that can really help with your main board. It's not a requirement by any means. It's more of a nice thing to have for the most part. Like I said, if you have a bigger bed, it's probably going to have that already.
Yeah.
But like stepper drivers or stepper motors, I'm sorry, those are all standard. And I honestly, for the M series especially, the 10 and 20 series, I actually really like the 2650 board of Geeetech. I think it's quite a capable board. It does a lot of stuff you need. It has so many stepper driver controls. It's got a lot of memory. That's one big thing. It's got a lot of memory that you can have a lot of options on in the firmware. So I would never upgrade my Geeetech 3650 board. I'm getting used to the A30T's STM32 Pro, I think it is. I have to verify that. It's a little different because it doesn't run Marlin, but I've had a lot of success with my prints, so I'm not too worried about learning that. I think it's going to be just as good as some of my other printers. So I'm going to see if there's anything.
Someone is asking, what bed plate do you recommend?
Excellent question, because I actually hate this little sticker bed that comes on the A30T. It's incredibly sticky. It's too sticky. Like, I have literally had to turn it on, print it, let it cool, turn the heat up to like 90 so that they were almost liquefied on the bottom in order to get it off. This bed is just so sticky. I actually use hairspray for release agent, kind of like you do with PETG sometimes. So I personally prefer the black glass borosilicate plates that Geeetech sells, the big plates. Those are definitely my favorite. They just seem to stick when I need them to, and not when I need them to not. Those are my favorite. But yeah, these boards are crazy sticky, which is a good thing in most cases. But then sometimes when I'm getting them off, I'm like, yikes, this is hard to get off.
Great. I have one question.
Sure.
What's the most efficient way to use a purge bucket?
So the purge bucket, yeah, the reason I got into it a little bit earlier, but I'll go into a little more detail. So the reason a purge bucket is so much more efficient than a tower, just straight off the start, is, let's say that I have a print. This is not a good example, but let's say the color didn't change from green to blue until way up here. So let's say this was the first layer where blue started. You would need to create this prime purge tower all the way this height, so that you have a base for when it's time to change colors. It needs to be at the same height, right? It can't go over here and then go down to make that whole purge thing. It's got to, because your hot end's going to hit the model. It's got to literally build that up the same height no matter what, which is why my purge tower and my prints are all the same. Now, some of the slicers are smart, and they know once you get to one color, they'll just stay at that one color. They won't continue to make the purge tower because they know it doesn't need to change again. But if you have any kind of change anywhere above there, it's going to need to keep that purge tower going. So with a purge bucket, though, since you're on the side there, I wish I had my purge bucket ready. Okay, so I'm going to take this one off. Please apologize for the... So the purge bucket's going to go right along here. Oops, I'm sorry. Right, so that when you're printing over here, then it's going to come back. Oops, I'm sorry. So your purge wall is right here. You're going to then purge the stuff out over here, and the wall is in between the edge of the bed and where the nozzle is.
Sure. You can change to your back camera. The back camera.
Oh, you want me to switch? Okay, this thing doesn't really...
The back camera might be more higher resolution.
I'm trying. I just don't see how to do it on this screen I'm on. I just don't see that option. Do you know how to do it? Yeah, I don't seem to have that on. Okay, here we go. No, that's not it, is it?
Maybe
No,
can you more
I
time?
turned it off. Yeah, I hit camera and all I get is the options to. I don't know how to do it.
Oh, it's okay. It's okay. We can use
Yeah, I'm sorry.
font.
So here, I'll try. It's more of I think how I'm holding it than anything.
Yeah, this is very clear.
That's clear. All right. Here we go. This will help. All right. So this is the edge of the bed. Let me get you a better view so you can see. Here's the printer, and here's the edge of the bed. So on the 830, it's going to be a little hard. I haven't even tried, like I said. Okay, let me take off this. So this is my cooling duct. I need that, but it's a lot easier to see like this. So on the 830, I can see already it's going to be really hard because the bed and the edge of the nozzle are not, right? It's not going to, the nozzle doesn't come over to the left far enough. So usually on my A10 and A20M, the hot end actually goes farther off the bed than this. So I'm going to have to investigate what I can do with an A30 in terms of a purge bucket. But I don't have my A10M or 20M around here to show you. But it would normally have a little gap. Again, I'm going to go back to where it was. It would have a gap. So this is actually going to be over here. So that leaves room for a little wall like this. Obviously, it wouldn't go that high. It would only go just to about the nozzle height. And so, anyway, I don't want to get too much into that. So it's purging over there, so you don't have to create all those walls and all that stuff, or all those
Okay. Okay. Seems that John is lost right now, and he just shared with us about how to do the set the purge, to purge efficiently. And we will invite him to um, join back again.
Sorry,
Welcome
guys.
back, John.
I hit my thumb on something, I think, and closed it. So,
Yeah.
Okay, so, again, I'm sorry. Now my camera stand is not standing. All right. So what that does, so basically then you have G code that says, instead of building a purge tower each time you need to change color, it's going to go over to the edge, do that purge outside the purge wall, and then go back over and do your print. So you don't have that purge wall. First of all, it gives you a lot more building area. You can use the whole bed again. You don't have a purge tower to worry about. And second of all, it uses much less filament because, again, you don't need to be building those walls that you're not using. It only purges when it needs to change color. So that's a huge decrease in filament use. Now, it does create a little bit of a mess over on the left here. You'll have a bunch of, I do have some of those left over from when I had the purge wall. You'll have just a bunch of squiggly filament, but it's not a big deal. You just clean it out or make a little bucket for it to fall into. So yeah, the original thing was actually a bucket, and then somebody came up with the wall. And then, like I mentioned, there's one on Thingiverse. You got to find it. I think it's called, like, I don't even remember, spring purge wall, but like I said, it has a little spring. So when it's doing that, come back to go print, it'll like launch your filament off the hot end, which is really cool because then that really keeps it clean for that next layer. You don't ever get any blobs really.
Can you share with us what's the common problem that you might have when you do the purge improperly?
Sure, like you don't purge enough, so your print is going to be not the color you expected, right? And here's a perfect example of that. Let me find one. So I believe here we go. Perfect. So here is a much cleaner purge. This is what it should look like. And this is what it looks like if you don't purge enough and there's still some black left. This one I was purging black out, trying to figure out how much to purge out. This one, I believe I did around 85 cubic millimeters, and this one was closer to like 120 cubic millimeters of purge. So that that shows the difference if you don't do enough. You can really see it on that first layer. For some reason, it's like literally black. But yeah, you can see throughout the whole thing, it's much darker. It almost looks reddish. But yeah, it's that's what happens. So what that is not purging enough. So you still have some black left somewhere down in the hot end channels. Remember the A30 and the A10M. There's kind of a lot of room inside the hot end, so you gotta get all that stuff out. And then sometimes a little sticks to the side or whatever. So you gotta keep pushing it through until that kind of all comes out. So you basically have to do tests, and that's actually exactly why I have these little squares. They're specifically to test to see if I purged enough, based on looking at these versus what the color should be. There's one other thing I didn't mention earlier that sometimes can cause a shift, even if you have proper retractions and other things, and that's this. If you actually make your purge tower too big, you'll see I have a huge hole in the middle. Well, eventually it started, you can see, it just got all tore up, and then that caused that layer shift. It's kind of hard to see, but there actually is one. So yeah, even just something simple as making your purge tower too big leaves a big gap in the middle, and then it can't, get that layer connection it needs to between layers, and then you got to shift there. You can see right there, Dan, it's really shifted like 3 or 4. Oops. It's almost like it's intended to be that way. So yeah, that's another thing, like very rare, but you got to look at that in case it happens. But yeah, so the purging, that's a purge tower that went wrong. But as you can see, that's basically what a purge tower does, right? It'll start at green, work its way to white, print all the white, start at white, work its way to green, and then just kind of go on from there. So again, that's where that purge tower is nicer, because you're just pushing all that stuff off the side. You don't have a big tower being built. Purge walls are definitely preferred. And again, there's things on Thingiverse, all kinds of places where people have. The people who make the purge walls that you print, they'll usually have instructions and sample G code to use for your printer to make it work properly.
Okay.
It'll come with the model.
We have one question from our platform. Someone said he bought an A30T, but it's not working. So what A30T quirks should he be aware of once he get it up and running?
Let me see if I can read that one. How do you... Okay, I see what you're saying. I read it. Sorry. So your quirks are, it's not Marlin, so all of the G code might not be, might not work. Something you might expect. Most of it does work, but there's a few that don't. Other than that, there's not a lot of quirks to it, really. I actually like my A30T a lot. It has actually probably less quirks than a lot of printers have had. It's got that unique firmware, but the touchscreen is really nice and navigable. So I don't really have a ton of things I would say it's quirks. Again, people don't really like the extruders sometimes, or they don't like loading them specifically. I noticed a lot of people make sure that it's really straight, and then you cut it like an angle on the end. You know what I mean? I don't have something here I can cut, do I? Got a piece of filament somewhere. Give me 2 seconds. I got a piece of filament.
Okay.
All right, so what I do is I just make sure it's really straight as I can get it with my hands. And then I cut an angle as sharp as I can. And that helps it really, get that thing really sharp. Even sometimes I might even come back the other way a little bit and get it almost like a pencil, kind of like a cone. And then what that's doing is as it's going through all those gears, it kind of gives it a little bit of leeway, right? It might be, okay, I can, just give it a little bit better of although path through it, it's smaller. So, so yeah, that's what I do for like, straightening it out to get it in on a load, because a lot of people think that's weird.
Okay, he
But
also
other than
made.
that, there's not a lot. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
He said you said mentioned about Prusa slicer doesn't seem to work well with it.
Well, I just haven't had a lot of chance to try it. I'm pretty sure it does. Other people I've heard are using it, so I think it does. I just need to mess around with it a little bit. I'm getting some weirdness that I got into it earlier. I don't know what it is, so I don't want to say more. I'm pretty sure I can get it to work. It's probably a checkbox in Prusa that I'm missing somewhere, I think. So I just need to look at it a little more. I was actually messing around with all this shifting on purpose to try and get some examples for today.
Mm-hmm.
So I was focusing on that.
And one common question is how do you deal with stringing in Pura?
Yeah, stringing can be a big.
Someone said he has an A10T and retract distance at 6 millimeter and retraction speed at 40 millimeter per second with retract at
Your
layer.
numbers are right there. That's pretty much what I do. Maybe I would go 6.5 millimeter on the retract, but that's not much difference there. So the next thing I would look at is my temperature. I print at as low of a temperature as I can. Usually, there are exceptions to everything, right? Every exception or every rule has an exception. So for the most part, going cooler, you're going to have easier breaking on the filament. You want to make sure your cooling fan is working well. It's pointed directly at the under the nozzle, not at the nozzle, right below the nozzle. And then the other thing is travel speed actually makes a big difference. It's capped at 150 in the firmware, but I go as max as I can. So I do 150 right now on the travel speed. And what that is how fast does the head move when it's not printing, right? So the faster it is, it'll kind of snap that string sooner rather than slowly dragging it out, right? Think like taffy or something. If you just pull it, it'll snap. But if you go slow or silly, but if you go slow, it'll stretch. So there's kind of that whole. It's definitely a balancing act and a dance to some extent. And another thing you want to really make sure is that all your Bowdens are all the way down into your hot end, because what will happen if there's a little gap in the Bowden in the hot end, a little bit of filament will get up in there and it'll really wreak havoc on your retractions. So it never really pulls out good all the way. So then you have that little bit dripping. It's a challenge, and that's simply because these hot ends, they have a huge amount of actual path inside them. So while it's moving, that stuff's still melting and wants to drip out. So that's why I keep it as low as I can, because I think that hot end then doesn't get as hot. It drips less. Now, again, there are some times where you want to go. I've had some filament that works better, less stringy when I go a little hotter than normal too. It's all testing, but for the most part, lower is better for me.
The lower, the better.
99 times out of 100, lower is better.
Okay, great. Thank you for sharing. And one question is about how would be running the A30T with one color, only with 3 rows?
I totally hear what you're saying, because what happens is if you have a huge one color print, those other two Bowden tubes inside the hot end, they're just not used, right? So you got all that retraction and printing going on one, and these two are sitting there. What happens is they slowly get pushed back with a little bit of filament. You get a little bit of back pressure on each of the other tubes, and then it ends up causing a jam possibly later. So what I like to do, if I know I'm going to do a big, really long one color print, I'll actually cut off 10 meters or whatever, 5 meters of filament, and just put it in the other 2 extruders and actually put them at like 1% or 2% on the mix. So they're at least moving a little bit. And then you have the same color in all 3 still. Because they're moving so much slower, that 5 or 10 meters should last a really long time. That's equivalent to 100 meters or whatever, or 1,000 meters on your main color spool that you're using. So just by putting that 5 or 10 meters in those other 2 extruders, it keeps them being used, right? machines would rather be used than sit in a lot of cases.
Mm-hmm.
It's almost like a lubricant in some ways. It prevents that backflow from happening. So.
Okay. I had some questions. It's about what do you use to wipe while doing purging bucket? I mean, you add something into the bucket.
Yeah. A lot of people use a silicone.
Mm-hmm.
Like they'll take a. I think I have some around here somewhere, probably. Oh, I know. I have one right there. So on this hot end, there's a silicone. It's to help keep the heat, right? A lot of times people will just cut these, like maybe cut that little bit right off there, and then inside the purge.
I'll give you a full screen.
Yeah, so that way, it's just a hot end sock, they call them, made out of silicone. They'll cut this little end off, so cut it like right here. Take that little strip, put it in the part where the nozzle would go over. Yeah, I got a hot end that I can mimic it with. This is not the right hot end, but just get.
Mm-hmm.
So this would be your purge wall. It's printing. It comes over. It purges, and then as it comes back, it hits that. See that? And it wipes it. So it's just a piece of silicone. Other people use paintbrushes. I've seen for the bristles of paintbrushes. I've seen metal.
Which one is more efficient?
I'm sorry?
Which one is more efficient?
I don't know if any one is more efficient than the other. Silicone, when I do this, I actually then further cut little slits down it like that, so it almost looks like a broom end or something. So that it's, because when you have just one solid piece, sometimes it'll actually pop this whole thing out. The most efficient is that one I mentioned that launches your filament. It actually has a spring, and as the filament comes back, instead of hitting something like this, it hits a wall that has a spring loaded. So it will literally go like that, and then boom, when that comes back, it launches your excess filament right off to the side into a bucket. So that's the most efficient, I think. It'll last the longest. Anything like this, you're going to have to, first of all, check it before each print, because it's going to get crooked, it's going to get weird. And then just, you got to kind of keep an eye on it even during the print, because that thing, if it comes out, then you've got almost nothing to prevent it from pulling a bunch of filament back in onto your print. So.
Okay, and another question is about the moving distance to between the head and nozzle to the bucket. Does it affect the purging?
Right, I think they're probably saying, is there more stringing and things like that because it's going so far and things like that. And yeah, that does play into it, right? Everything has positives and negatives. That's one negative about this. It's moving almost all the way across the bed in every case, back and forth. So it adds a lot of print time. But hopefully you're saving that print time from your towers that don't need to be printed. So that might be kind of canceling each other out. But yeah, there is that whole traveling. You're more likely to see strings. But if you can get your retraction under control, hopefully that shouldn't be a problem.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it is definitely a little, you have to be a little more fine-tuned, because any little thing is magnified over that whole distance, right? If you're only moving this far in trips, you probably can get away with it. But if it's moving quite far, so some people move them up and over. There's lots of different methods that you just kind of got to play with it and test it out.
Do you have any recommendation for how to stop the purging amount?
How to remotely stop printing?
I mean, recommended purge amount.
Oh, so that is very, very filament dependent. I have some that, black is always going to take a long time to purge, pretty much. I've never seen a black that doesn't take a substantial amount. And then, here, I'm glad to get this up. Something like this, I have it actually in my A30 right now. So it's like a clearish red, transparent red, translucent red. That is going to take a lot to purge just about anything from, because it's clear. So any solid colors are really going to stick with it for a while. So going from black to that red that's where I was showing you earlier. That's like, it's like 150 to 200 millimeters of purge. It's just hard for the. So what I'm saying is your best bet is to use transparents between each other or solids between each other as much as possible. But the solids are going to be a lot more than the transparent typically.
I mean, do you have a recommended amount to start with?
I would start with 40. But again, like that's the low end I would do is 20 probably. If I'm going from something like a purple to a black, I'll use like 10 or 20. But if I'm going from a black to a white, that's literally gonna. I've seen it up to 200, even more. So the range is quite large, and it really depends on your filament. But yeah, so if I had to say a range, I would say 40 to 150 are where most of yours are going to be.
Okay, thank you. And we have one more comment from a Facebook friend. He asked, how do you deal with humidity in your PLA?
So I live in a very low humidity place, and I have central heat and air with humidifiers and dehumidifiers on the actual heating units. So my house is pretty stable year round. But on the occasion, things like PETG, TPU, they get moisture no matter what. So what I've done is I bought a cheap food dehydrator off of Amazon. I think it was like $38 or something, 36, something like that. Anyway, there's a lot of mods on Thingiverse where you can actually dehydrate up to like 6 spools at a time. And it's a food dehydrator, but it works just as well for filament. Each kind of filament has their own temperatures and times, but that's what I use if I ever get into a situation where I have filament that's got moisture in it. But once it has that moisture in it, the only real answer is something like a dehydrator. Now, I have seen people say they put it in the oven. I don't know how it is in the rest of the world, but in the U.S., most of our ovens don't. I have a pretty nice new oven, and its lowest temperature it'll go to is like 170 Fahrenheit. So I don't even know what that is in Celsius, but I don't think it's low enough to do anything like dehydrating filament. I think that's still probably, I don't know how hot that is, somewhere in the, 80, 70 range. So I don't recommend an oven. I would get a food dehydrator. Like I said, it's like $36, $38, and it's totally worth it. And then they're made to stay on for a long time, so you don't have to worry about wearing them out or anything. I wouldn't put food in it later, but.
Okay, thank you for your answers. And I wrote one question is that are the nozzle switch retraction settings are the same as the regular retraction settings?
So I'm sorry, can you repeat that? What's the question?
Are the nozzle switch retraction settings are the same as the regular retraction settings?
Yes, they are, and that's important actually because, like I said earlier, Cura comes with a huge number. I think it's 16, whereas I'm only using 7. So it's pulling it way out of the hot end, probably up into the Bowden tube on the nozzle change. So by the time it gets back down there, the tip of it's all deformed, but by the time it pushes everything out, it's got like blobs and stuff. So yes, you want to make them the exact same.
Okay, thank you. 170 Fahrenheit equals 77 centigrade.
There you go. So that's too hot for filament. That's above the glass transition layer for almost all of them, so they're going to melt. That's the lowest I could go in mine. Like I said, mine's pretty new. So I know some convection ovens they sell now do dehydrating though, so they probably are a lower potential temperature. But
okay. Yeah, all the questions I think.
Sorry, I was just looking at the questions. Yeah, I don't see anything else either. Anything else that I can mention?
So if you guys have more questions, ask John. You can type in the comments here.
One more thing. I can't believe I forgot this. It's the simplest check, and I can't believe nobody called me out on it in the comments. For the shifting we talked about earlier, your belts need to be tight. I don't know why I didn't say that. That should be actually the very first thing you check is your belts.
The belt.
I mean, mine are tight, so I didn't even think of it. I kind of check them like every 2 or 3 prints. So number one, do that. It's an easy fix.
Priority is to check the belt.
Yeah. I can't believe I forgot about that. It's one of the basics, right? Sometimes you forget the main stuff. I can't really think of anything else. I personally am not a big BL Touch guy. I found that this A30T has the flattest bed of just about any of my printers. I'm not sure why, but yeah, I don't use any kind of bed leveler myself. But yeah, the A30 is really flat. Definitely like that. Like I said, that bed sticks. Too good.
Actually, normally in live streaming, we will have a session is called quiz session. Is we give 3 questions and ask the audience to answer. Those who answer the quickest and right can get 1 roll of filament.
Oh, great.
Yeah. So actually, I'm thinking about. Do you have any questions?
Sorry, I have no question.
Yeah. Okay, I can give some questions from my side. So, guys, we're going to go into the quiz session. This is the exciting session for you guys to win a roll of filament. Okay, so the first question is that how many types of dual color printers does Geeetech have? Okay, so this is a question from my side. How many dual color printers? How many types of dual color printers in different sizes does Geeetech have? Dual color in different size. How many different sizes do we have?
You're asking how many different models of 2-color printers does Geeetech have?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. So this is a very easy question if you guys know our Geeetech printers.
It can't be a trick question though, can it?
Yeah. For different size with dual color, we have actually we have one right answer already. The answer is 3. Let me tell you why it's 3, because we have 3 different sizes in like from A10, A20, and A30. In each different size, we have 1 dual color printer. So it is 3 different. Congratulations to Norm. You answered right. Okay, so it's actually A10M, A20M, and A30M. So this is the 3. Yeah. Okay, so here comes the second question. Are you guys ready? Yeah. The second question is actually I asked John about one of his suggestion of what let me check. What's the recommended purge amount to start with? To start at? What's
Start
the?
at 40. Oh, sorry. Sorry, I thought you were asking me.
Okay, so this one, if since no, mean John already tell the answer, so we will skip this one. The right answer is 40. Can start at 40. Okay, so and one more question is what's the largest and biggest what's the largest size of that Geeetech have right now, and what's the size? What's the size of the printer? Okay, so now the second question is, what is the model of the biggest printer that Geeetech have, and what's the size of it? John, you probably know. We have a few answers here, but it's not right answer yet. Okay, you needed to give give the answer to the two questions. First one is what's the biggest size printer that Geeetech have, and what's its size? This one is actually almost close, but it's not very close, but not the right answer yet. I'll give 10 seconds countdown. If no one answers right, I will skip this question. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3. Oh, we got one right answer here. Although not sure who is this. You type your name. The right answer is A30T, and the size is 320 millimeter by 320 millimeter by 420 millimeter. So this is actually the biggest size that we're having, and it's 3-color printer. Thank you, Norm. Oh, congratulations, Matthew. Matt, is it? You can. So if you write answer, congratulations, and for those who get the right answer and the quickest win the prize, you can contact me directly, and we'll arrange to send a roll of filament. Okay, so today we're already a little bit over time. I think. Congratulations, Matt. So we already over time, so we will have 2 questions only for two quiz questions only for today, and there is one that already answered by John. So so this time we only have 2. And if you don't win any gift or filament, you can join our live streaming in other episode. We will always have this session if the time permit. Okay, so do you have any other questions to ask John, or you have anything to say to John for thanking him to giving this great sharing in our live streaming? Welcome to type your words in the comments and let him know. We will have a few minutes to see the comments. In the meantime, I will share what John had shared with me of his wonderful prints that he had. Since it's more, it's clear. It's more clear to see in pictures.
Very much.
Yeah. Okay, I'm sharing now. Okay, this is what John shared with me. So this is the boat, the Banshee.
That's a sports team there.
Yeah, John, can you explain about what you had done? And so these are all your
yeah, this
children.
one is a sports team,
Yeah.
baseball. That's a Banshee,
Yeah.
like you said. Sports team for baseball. And it looks like the red is actually not purged enough, but in reality, what it is the red, the whole bottom is red. It's actually showing through that white. The white is a little bit translucent. So it actually is purged right. The red is actually just showing through from underneath.
Yeah.
It's the same one, same print. I was just showing you the purge tower with it. One that I made too big.
Yeah.
And then this one, so what I did here was this is 3 different wood filament. I wrote a script to randomize the percentage per layer. So each layer, I sliced the boat, the Banshee, as I normally would. And then I wrote a Perl script, or actually it was a Python script, to go in there and at each layer change, it picks a random percentage to make each layer. So it's trying to look like wood. And I think it actually looks pretty good. It's not too bad. So I plan on actually trying to maybe make it change 2 or 3 times per layer, but I don't know if that will matter because there's so little purge time with that. So, but yeah, for now, I kind of like the way that it looks like a wood, like a real wood grain.
Looks nice.
Thank you.
Oh, this one is so cute.
Self-explanatory. It's Nemo's dad. His name is Marlin.
The name is Marlin.
Yeah, correct.
The fish.
Yep.
Marlin fish.
It's Finding Nemo's dad.
How long did it take for you to print this one?
Oh man, that was long. I think that one was 26 hours. I think it was long. It's pretty big. It's about the size of my palm. So it's pretty big.
Oh. Very nice. Really nice.
That's my favorite.
What's the size of it?
The filament is, the black is Geeetech. I think the white is Geeetech. The orange is, let me look here what brand it is. I don't know. It looks like it's some super cheap stuff. I don't think it has a brand name on it. I got it. I don't even know where I got it. I think I got it like when I bought a used printer off somebody. They threw it in there, I think.
Okay, so let's see more. This one
is the Cali Cat, Rainbow Cali Cat.
Rainbow
so all
Cali.
These ones that are multicolored like this, where there's no purge bucket, it just changes like that, transitions. There's an application online. I'll put that in the comments too. And it specifically works with the Geeetech printers, and it allows you to do kind of stripes. I don't think checkerboards, but stripes, fades. So I'll put a link to that too in the comments after this.
Okay, great. You can share it in the group.
Yeah, it's a website you go to.
In the comments later. Oh, you can share it in the comments later. And where do you print? Do you print in the floor? You put your printer in the floor?
That was when I first got it. That was my first test print. It was I didn't have room in the printer room yet. I had to make room, so that's right by the front door actually.
Okay.
It was only there for about a couple hours, just enough to print that thing.
Okay. Next one.
Yeah,
horses.
Just a couple of horses. Yeah. So what I was trying to here's where it is now. So what I was trying to do with those horses is I was trying to do the multicolors, so that the red horse is a white head, and it's hard to tell, but that's actually this was done on an M. So those lighter reds are actually a mix of white and red. So what I was trying to do there is see how many different variations of red I could get out of it.
Very nicely done.
Or they're unicorns, I guess. They're not horses. Sorry. Yeah, there's the snake guy. Still got that guy right here. He's my favorite. First print. It's cute. All the kids love it.
You really play strong. It with.
Yeah, you can actually pull people around with it. It's quite strong.
Is it also a PLA filament?
Yeah, these are all PLA pretty much. I've done TPU in the T model or the M models. I haven't tried it in the T model, and it works fine. It works great. I don't do a lot with TPU and PETG. I like it, but I don't know. PLA is a little easier, and with the multicolor, I like to try and minimize the challenge. It's already hard enough.
Oh, I suddenly came up with one idea. One question is, do you mix different material?
No, I've never done that. I don't think that will work. I know it could work with supports because PETG and PLA don't really bind together too good. So I think if you made a PETG support, that would be good because it would snap off the PLA quite good. But
it would be a good idea, if it can mix different material for certain prototypes.
So my battery is really low. If I disappear, that's what happened. My battery ran out.
Oh, okay. We'll finish soon.
Okay. I mean, it's really low. It's 1%, so we'll see. But yeah, so that one is, again, I was trying to do different gradients of color. So it's blue. That's actually 5 different colors by mixing blue and white.
Okay. And this is the
Earth. I just did it's available on Thingiverse, just 2-color print. It had a huge perch tower, but it came out pretty nice.
Yeah, this most of them are very smooth in the service.
Thank you. Of course, superheroes. This is for my son. Yeah. He loves Batman and the Flash. He's moved on to, I don't know what he loves now. Can't remember.
Nice color match.
Spider-Man, I think, is now. Yeah, thanks. I liked it too. I liked the yellow was nice and bright. I believe that's Geeetech yellow and Geeetech red. Oh. And I think Geeetech black too, because back then when I did this, I only had Geeetech filament, I think. So that should be all Geeetech colors.
If you, yeah, so now we are having great promotion for the Halloween.
Yeah, I saw your colors. I was on the stream towards the end there, and I saw those are perfect colors for Halloween you had, the black and orange.
Yeah, so I just shared at the beginning of the live streaming of the promotions that we are having on different countries in Europe and also in US.
Cool.
So, nice. So if more people wanted to buy some filaments to prepare for the Halloween or do some other prints, they can consider about it.
Cool. That is good.
Yeah, that's other pictures that you shared with me about your prints. I think they are really beautiful. Thank you very much for your sharing.
Thank you.
And we have a lot of friends saying thank you here in the comments.
I see that. Thank you. You're welcome.
Yeah, great job from Jerry. Jerry is our sharing speaker yesterday's live streaming.
Hello. Bye-bye. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you very much, and have a good evening there.
You too, guys. I'll come back and put those links and stuff in there. Thank you.
Yeah,
Bye-bye.
yeah. Thank you. Okay, guys, thank you very much for being online with us for such a great time together, and I hope you will enjoy your day, your evening there. And if you have any question related to the purging setting, you can ask. You can join the group and ask more friends in the group, and also John is there, and John will share more things in these comments later. I will let us know if you have other questions. And thank you very much for being here and with us. And see you next Friday. And have a good day. Enjoy printing there. Bye bye.